First lesson learned here on this is get a high-powered drill. Hey, good morning, friends. Welcome back to Tabula Rasa Farm. My name's Chad. Today we're going to talk about walnut trees, specifically this guy right here, which is the eastern black walnut. The eastern black walnut tree is native to this area, the eastern United States, and also throughout the Midwest. Today we're going to talk about some of the pros and cons of this tree, and I'm going to explain to you why we're choosing to remove these trees from our lower side of the property. Now, the pros of growing this type of tree is it makes for an excellent shade tree. In the summer heat, when it gets really hot around here, it's been in the high 90s here at the house. This is a great spot to come sit in the afternoons if you want to still be outside but not be in the heat of the sun. It's a great spot to sit. Also, this wood is very high value. A lot of furniture makers and woodworkers like the black walnut because of the dark heart that they have in the center of it. Another good pro to this tree is the fact that it's edible. Not the tree itself, but the nuts that are on the tree. They're very, very, very similar to the English walnut, which is typically what you find in stores. But these nuts are a little bit smaller. The Cherokee Indians used to include this nut in their diet because of its high fat and protein value. There's also a pretty good medicinal value to this tree. I'm not going to speak of that much on this video because I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to give any medical advice. If you're interested in medicinal value of this tree here, go ahead and take a look out on the internet and you'll be able to find plenty of information on it. Now, the cons of this tree is that they're quite messy in the fall. They drop a lot of leaves and a lot of walnuts. They make an entire mess, including the walnuts that are on the ground. The squirrels just love these things and they will crack them and open them and eat them anywhere that they can. They'll be spread all over your deck, all over walkways, throughout your garden. Anywhere that you don't want them is where they will leave them. Another issue with the walnuts is that when a windstorm comes along, it knocks the walnuts down and they can land on the cars and they could damage your vehicle. These walnuts are the size of a golf ball and they're hard. And if a whole bunch of them come down and fall on your car, it could leave dents on your car. And I'm not sure if insurance covers such a thing, but that's another reason why we're choosing to get rid of them here. But the main reason why we're deciding to get rid of them here is because of a thing called juglone toxin. The juglone toxin is a toxin that this tree emits out into the ground to kill other plants off so that it doesn't have to fight for resources. This toxin can spread up to between 50 and 80 feet away from the base of the tree through the ground. And what the toxin does is it will kill a whole bunch of the plants that we're trying to grow here. And the main plants that it kills here are anything part of the nightshade family, which includes tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, potatoes, things like that. We've already lost all of our tomato plants here and our crop of potatoes. We got a few potatoes, but it ended up killing the plant before it could really mature. It also kills everything in the brassica family, cabbages, Brussels sprouts, things like that. Asparagus is killed by juglone, and also a lot of ornamental plants that we're trying to grow here, as far as hydrangeas, peonies, and there's a lot of other ones. There's tons of lists out there on the internet. You can go and take a look, find out what'll work for you if you have one of these trees in your yard. Or you can do what we're going to do and just go ahead and take them down and kill the stumps. Now, I'm going to show you over here in the yard of some of the reasons of why we're trying to kill these stumps, because these trees are so persistent that even if you cut the stump down to ground level, it will still throw out new growth and try to create a new tree off of just a stump. And anywhere along the ground where the roots have come to the surface, whether you're digging up anything or anything's just been moved out of the way and the roots come up to the surface, they will also throw up shoots to come out of the ground to try and create new trees. It's a very persistent tree, I'm not going to say invasive because it is native to this area, but for us to grow our plants the way we want to in this area, we have to get rid of these trees, at least down here in the bottom. But before we get to that, do me a favor, jump down below here and subscribe and ring the bell so you'll be notified whenever we release a new video, and please share our videos with your friends. Go ahead and leave us a comment down there too and let me know if you've got black walnuts in your yard, or if you try to grow a garden near your black walnut trees, how it works out for you. I'd love to hear your input. We're all here to learn from each other. Now, we've got two ways that we're going to try and kill these stumps organically. Number one is this specimen right here, which used to be a black walnut stump down here on the ground. What we did with this one, as you can tell, this is a burn barrel. We went ahead and just cut the stump down to about 4 inches above the surface level, cut some notches in it, then put this barrel over it with a few of these pavers and things underneath there to get some good airflow underneath it. And what'll happen is you build a fire in there and you keep feeding the fire with wood, and it'll create a good coal base in there, and the coals will eventually burn out the center of the stump. I haven't opened this one up yet to see what it looks like inside of there, but we're gonna go ahead and do that right now. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this barrel off and take a look. Looks like we still got a little bit of the wood on top here that we'd put on. This is from the stump, and this was still pretty green when we started burning it out. This stump here was putting off some of those shoots, which I'll show you on this other stump that I've cut to the ground over here in a few minutes. But move that out of the way. Yeah, it's kind of mucky in there because it did just rain pretty good the last couple of days. We haven't had rain in a few weeks, but so it's a little mucky in there, but it looks like it pretty much got the stump. So we're gonna leave this one open as an experiment, and we're gonna see if some of these shoots come up through the bottom. But this is way number one. We've been in a drought here, so I'm not burning any stumps out right now because just it's a fire hazard. But anyway, we're gonna go over and take a look at this other stump. Now right here is specimen number 2. Like I said before, here's the shoots that are coming out of this stump that I cut off at ground level. We're gonna do option number 2 to try and kill this stump. We're gonna try and kill it with Epsom salt. I'm gonna walk you through that process here in just a minute. But I just wanna show you, pull these little tops off here, and you can see there's a stump under here that I've cut off at ground level, and it still tries to grow a tree. So we're gonna get in here with some Epsom salt, and I'm gonna show you how we're gonna try and kill this stump out. First thing you're gonna need is a drill with a 1-inch bit on it. Now, this one's only about 5-6 inches long. If you can have one that's even longer than this, that's gonna work out better. This is kind of a shallower stump, I believe. It's a pretty small one. It's only about 6 or 8 inches in diameter. So I shouldn't need to drill very many holes and go very deep to kill this stump out. So anyway, 1-inch bit on a drill. You're gonna need some Epsom salt, a 5-gallon bucket, and a few black trash bags. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drill a couple of these 1-inch holes into this stump. Then we're gonna take this Epsom salt. Now Epsom salt is magnesium sulfate. It's not regular table salt. Regular table salt, I've never tried it, but I don't believe it works for this process. We're gonna dump this magnesium sulfate in these holes. We're gonna cover it with a plastic bag to keep any water out, and then we're gonna put a bucket on top of it, and then I'm gonna go find a rock or a brick or something to set on top of the bucket just so it doesn't get knocked over. That's just gonna be so we can keep the rain out, because the rain will wash away the magnesium sulfate or Epsom salt. So this process takes about 8 to 10 weeks to complete from start to finish, approximately. We'll see how long it takes, and we'll keep making update videos on this. But so what our plan is we're gonna go ahead and cover it today. Today is Tuesday the 28th. We're gonna cover it today, and then next Tuesday we're gonna come and uncover it and just see what it looks like, see what the Epsom salt looks like on the stump, and if it needs to be refilled, we'll just keep refilling, just keep putting more and more and more on there until it eventually will kill the stump. Now some people, including yourself, you might be wondering, isn't Epsom salt a type of fertilizer? And yes, it is. But just like any other type of fertilizer, it works great if used in moderation. We're not doing moderation here. We're dumping as much Epsom salt on top of this stump as that will stay on there to try and kill this. If you put a whole bunch of nitrogen on your garden, if you put too much, more than what's recommended, it will burn and kill your plants. That's kind of the same thing that we're trying to do here with this Epsom salt on this stump. So now I'm gonna go ahead and drill these holes out, start getting some Epsom salt on here, and we'll fast forward this video so you can watch it in quick time. All right, so we got 3 holes drilled in here, and the first lesson learned here on this is get a high-powered drill, preferably one that plugs in. I have one somewhere, I just don't know exactly where it's at right now, but just drilling these 3 holes about 3 or 4 inches deep. This is pretty dense wood. This was a freshly charged battery on this drill, and now it's completely dead. So get a plug-in drill, something a little more high powered, drill these holes out. Anyway, we're gonna fast forward a little bit here, start putting some of this Epsom salt in. So we got a pretty good little mountain of Epsom salt on here. Now we're gonna cover it with a garbage bag and we're gonna put this bucket over it. All right, we're gonna let this sit for about a week. We'll go ahead and pop the top off of it and take a look at what we got going on in there. Like I said, we drilled 3 1-inch holes, about 4 inches deep, filled them with Epsom salt, dumped a whole bunch across the top, strung this garbage bag over the top of it, bucket, went and found us a paver brick here to put down. So if you like this video, go ahead and give us a like. Like I said before, leave us a comment. Let me know down in the bottom if you got some of these black walnuts on your property and how you manage them, or if you enjoy them. And we'll see y'all in the next one. Have a great day.